Most things in life that are worthwhile, you got to work at. You get out what you put in. As simple as that. That's a kind of a universal law. So yeah, it's not pick up the guitar and go, ha-ha, which I've done, in front of the mirror lots, hey, I'm really good. And you got to have that attitude too. But it does take work. It does take, some dedication, But if you love doing it, it's not as hard as it could be if you're doing something you're not as interested in.
And I was 24 years old or something, and I remember just being like it's time for me to grow up and do something with my life. Like I've sat here for a year and a half, almost 2 years now, like depressed, miserable, whatever I was doing, making excuses. Like this isn't who I want to be. I aspire to be something greater. My parents didn't raise me to be this way. I wanted to make myself proud. I wanted to make my last name proud. I wanted to make, my family proud. And I wanted to be a symbol. I think, I've always wanted to be a symbol of inspiration, of possibilities.
Living a fulfilled life means waking up every morning and feeling like your work has value. It means that someone values you and you value the people around you. It means that you feel a part of something bigger than yourself, the sense of belonging, that you get to contribute to something and you feel that others are watching your back. For all of us to wake up that way in the morning, wouldn't we all feel so fulfilled? Fantastic, yeah. Feeling of belonging and the ability to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
I am a firm believer in what you put out in the universe comes back to you.
Yeah.
So, even if it's as crazy as I have this dream car that I want, or maybe it's not materialistic, maybe it's like I just want perfect health and I want to fall in love and I want this and that in my family. Right. If you put it out there, it will come back to you in return. And I think it's just whether it's the universe, God, like whatever you believe in, I think that if you put that energy out there, it definitely comes back.
That's all about hard working, I think, and trusting in what you're doing. Because in the beginning, there were a lot of people like, Martin, you're too young, it's not gonna work. And also at my soccer team there, I was DJing, and they were like, and right now they're like, oh, dude, you're right. And I think that's the most important thing. If you believe in what you're doing, that's the most important thing. If you don't believe in what you're doing, you can give up. You don't have to put time and effort in it because it won't work.
And I failed a million times. I just kept getting up and kept getting up, And so, that's the greatest thing about success. If you win success right off the bat, you don't learn anything. Your real truth in learning is a failure. And when you go after an endeavor and you fall on your ass and you fail, and then you get back up and you reface it, and then you become successful, that's some sweet victory right there. That builds a confidence and unyielding willpower that anything out there is within your control. So all these things in life, even the failures, create who you are today. So therefore you can apply what you've learned in the past to make the best judgment in the future course of action. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose it. It really doesn't. It just matters if you apply and you go for it.
As long as you're learning, right?
Yeah, and I can teach you whatever, but when you go out there and you try it yourself and you fall flat in your face, that's where you learn it the most. Because the next time when you fall, you learn to catch yourself, and that's the lesson you never forget.
I believe, my life is a testimony in itself into speaking things into existence and, living the dream and just kind of, just recognizing what you want to be in life and achieving it in that sense. So I just want to get out there and kind of explain that and just, I'm an optimist, man. And even in these times, it's like you got to be able to wake up with a smile and go down feeling really good.
The comfort and complacency are everybody's worst enemy. The only time I've ever gotten in trouble in my life was when I was bored, complacent, when I was settling. Who wants average? Who wants average? Nobody wants it, okay? Nobody, no matter where you're at in life, you don't want average. But we're surrounded by average people every day, average ideas, average products, average advertising. Only those that have given up on greatness would settle for average.
It's very, very difficult to read something that unconsciously or consciously you know is not going to make a big difference in your life. You have to believe that it's going to make the difference. You have to see how on your journey it's going to make the difference. You need a sense of urgency. You need your mind to focus. You need to be engaged. For someone like me, my mind doesn't get engaged unless I'm stimulated, unless something, there's something going on in my life that's interesting, something powerful that's going on that's going to stimulate me to get me engaged. And this is why every single time on my journey I encounter some new book or some new person to learn from, I'm loving it. You ever notice when I'm talking about books I'm reading or people I'm learning from, I'm really all about it? That's because there's something on my journey that made me become all about it. I'm psyched about it. I'm pumped up.
Habits. Good habits will give you results that stick. Bad habits will destroy everything. I have some bad habits. That's right. All my habits are not great. So if you've got some bad habits, don't feel bad. So does your next door neighbor. So does your mentor, your coach. So does your mother and father if they're alive. So does everyone. And the trick of life is to replace a bad habit with a good habit. I used to hang around bars all the time. And one day I went in, I picked up a glass and I looked around and I thought, they're all bums in here. And then it dawned on me, I'm always here. I learned something. I put the glass down and I said, I'm never coming back here again, and I'm never going to drink this, and I never did. That was a long time ago. But you know what I did? I went from spending all my money on the bar to the racetrack, and I started to bet it all on horses. So I went from making somebody with a bar get wealthy, and then I started to feed the horses. And one day I woke up and I learned something. If you don't consciously and deliberately replace a bad habit with a good habit, you will automatically create another bad habit.